Our story begins with Adele, a high school student living a life of quiet routine. We see her leaving her modest brick house, a thoughtful, almost weary expression on her face as she hurries through the sleepy suburban streets to catch her bus. Her world feels small, confined to the daily commute and the predictable rhythms of school. In her literature class, however, a spark ignites. The students are taking turns reading from Marivaux's La Vie de Marianne, a story of a woman discovering her own heart. One student reads, "I am a woman and I am telling my story," a line that seems to resonate deeply with Adele. While some classmates are distracted, whispering and passing notes, Adele is completely captivated. She listens, her eyes wide, as another student reads a passage describing a profound, unspoken connection, a feeling that the heart is missing something, a regret for a place just left, and a compulsion to look back at someone who has captured the soul. The teacher picks up on this theme, leading a discussion on love at first sight and the idea of predestination, two souls fated to meet. Adele hangs on every word, the concepts of overwhelming, uncontrollable passion swirling in her mind, a stark contrast to her own placid existence. After class, the intellectual depth of the discussion evaporates into the typical chatter of teenagers. Her friends gossip about boys, their conversations loud and superficial. They tease Adele about a boy named Thomas, who clearly has a crush on her. He's a sweet, handsome senior, and for Adele, he represents the expected, socially approved path of romance. Her home life offers little more inspiration. A family dinner of spaghetti is a quiet affair, with her parents' attention split between their meal and a blaring game show on television. Adele eats mechanically, lost in her own world, a silent observer in her own life. Later that night, alone in her room, she writes in her journal, trying to process the feelings bubbling just beneath the surface. As she sleeps, her subconscious takes over, her dreams filled with a confusing mix of longing and pleasure, a sign of the profound changes that are about to unfold. The next day at school, the emotional fallout is immediate. In the sterile, impersonal school bathroom, a senior girl corners Adele, asking if she's okay. Before Adele can even process the question, the girl leans in and kisses her, a brief, confusing, and ultimately devastating moment. Just as quickly, the girl pulls away, dismissing the kiss as a spur-of-the-moment impulse. She tells Adele not to read into it, that it changes nothing, and that she won't tell anyone. With a casual apology, she leaves Adele standing in stunned silence, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. The world around her dissolves into a blur. She walks through the crowded school hallways in a daze, the cheerful noise of her classmates feeling miles away. Her friends call out to her, but their voices are muted, unable to penetrate her shock. Even her would-be boyfriend, Thomas, can't break through the wall of her confusion. He finds her outside, putting a comforting arm around her, but she remains distant, her mind replaying the moment in the bathroom, a question mark hanging over everything she thought she knew. A few nights later, Adele joins her friends at a gay bar. The atmosphere is electric, a world away from her quiet life. The room is filled with music, laughter, and an uninhibited expression of identity that is both foreign and fascinating to her. While her friends drink and try to pull her into their fun, Adele remains an observer, watching the couples around her with a mixture of curiosity and a deep, gnawing loneliness. Ewa! And then she sees her. A young woman with vibrant blue hair and a self-assured smile, moving through the crowd with an easy confidence. Their eyes meet for a fleeting moment, but it's enough to send a jolt through Adele, a silent recognition that feels both terrifying and exhilarating. This is Emma, an art student, and she seems to radiate a magnetic energy that Adele finds impossible to ignore. Finding Adele sitting alone, Emma strikes up a conversation. It flows effortlessly, moving from art to philosophy, from the writings of Sartre to the nature of love itself. For the first time, Adele feels truly seen. Emma listens with genuine interest, her gaze intense and full of understanding. She sees past Adele's shy exterior, recognizing a kindred spirit. She pulls out a sketchbook and begins to draw Adele, capturing not just her features, but the flicker of vulnerability and longing in her eyes. The world of the bar fades away, leaving only the two of them in a bubble of intense connection. When Emma's friends eventually arrive, boisterous and friendly, the spell is momentarily broken, but the promise of something more hangs in the air. Before leaving with her friends for a club in Belgium, Emma asks for Adele's number. That night, Adele lies in bed, her mind racing. The phone rings, and it's Emma, her voice a warm, reassuring presence. She teases Adele about her shyness, her call, a simple act of confirming the number, but it's a clear sign that the connection was real and mutual. The conversation is light, yet it holds the weight of a new beginning, a first step into a world Adele is only just beginning to understand. Their first real date unfolds in the soft sunlight of a park, a space that feels worlds away from the loud energy of the bar where they met. Lying on the grass, they share stories and secrets with an ease that suggests they've known each other for years. Emma, always open and honest, recounts her first kiss with a girl named Louise. She speaks with a fond nostalgia, and Adele hangs on every word, her fascination with this blue-haired artist growing with each passing moment. Adele asks if she's always known she preferred girls. Emma smiles, admitting she dated boys but eventually realized her truth lay with women. This confession lands gently, resonating deeply with Adele's own unspoken questions. The air between them is thick with possibility, a silent understanding passing between them as they share a cigarette. As they lie back, looking up at the canopy of leaves, a comfortable silence settles over them. The world shrinks until it is just the two of them, their shoulders almost touching. The tension is palpable, a sweet ache of anticipation. Emma turns her head, her bright blue eyes locking with Adele's. The question is there, unspoken but clear. Adele's answer is a shy, nervous smile. Emma leans in, and their lips meet in a kiss that is everything the one in the school bathroom was not. Tender, deliberate, and full of genuine feeling. It starts softly, an exploration of this new, electrifying territory, but quickly deepens, igniting a fire that has been smoldering since they first laid eyes on each other. Later, in the privacy of Emma's apartment, their connection finds its most profound expression. The scene is one of raw, uninhibited passion, a physical culmination of the emotional and intellectual bond they've already formed. It's a storm of tangled limbs, whispered words, and desperate kisses, a dance of two souls finally free to explore a desire that has been building with unbearable intensity. For Adele, this is more than just a physical act. It's a revelation, an awakening to a part of herself she has only just begun to understand. Emma guides her with a gentle confidence, unlocking a passion within Adele that is both fierce and vulnerable. The experience is overwhelming, a sensory overload that leaves her breathless and fundamentally changed. The morning after is filled with light and laughter. They lie tangled in the sheets, the intensity of the night replaced by a soft, warm intimacy. They are a couple now, their bond solidified in a way that words couldn't achieve. Their world expands as they step out into the sunlight, hand in hand, at a vibrant pride parade. Surrounded by a sea of rainbow flags, joyous faces, and celebratory music, Adele is initially overwhelmed. But with Emma by her side, she slowly lets go, dancing and smiling, feeling a sense of belonging for the first time in a community that celebrates love in all its forms. As the parade winds down, they walk home through the city streets, Emma's arm wrapped protectively around Adele. Adele is carrying a small potted orchid, a gift for Emma's parents. They stop outside a charming, unassuming house, and the reality of the moment sinks in. Adele is about to cross another threshold, not just into Emma's home, but into her life and her family. The gathering is a lively affair in a lush garden filled with Emma's friends and family, a vibrant bohemian crowd that buzzes with intellectual energy. Emma introduces Adele to her pregnant friend Lise, and they all marvel at her baby bump. Lise is radiant, and as Adele gently places a hand on her stomach, she feels the baby move, a small kick that brings a look of wonder to her face. But amidst the warm greetings, Adele feels a subtle sense of being an outsider. These are artists, writers, and thinkers, people who speak a language of culture and philosophy that is foreign to her. A man named Joachim, a friend of Emma's, approaches Adele with a confident charm. He compliments her beauty, her presence, and her art, mistaking her for the artist. Adele, flustered but polite, corrects him, explaining that Emma is the painter. Emma, ever her champion, quickly adds that Adele is a writer. The attention shifts back to Adele, who modestly downplays her talent, admitting she only writes in personal journals. Emma encourages her, telling Joachim that she's trying to push Adele to write more, to share her incredible gift with the world. The conversation is a mix of flattering and intimidating, highlighting the differences in their worlds. As the afternoon light fades into the warm glow of evening lanterns, a champagne cork pops and the celebration reaches its peak. Emma stands before the crowd, glass in hand, her eyes finding Adele's. In a heartfelt speech, she thanks her friends for their support but saves her most profound gratitude for Adele. She calls her a muse, her source of inspiration, the one who makes her happy. The crowd erupts in applause, chanting Adele's name. For a moment, Adele is frozen, caught in the spotlight of Emma's love, a mix of overwhelming joy and deep-seated insecurity swirling within her. The party flows into a communal dinner with large bowls of pasta passed around. The conversation is a lively debate about art, comparing the works of Klimt and Schiele. Adele listens, absorbing the intellectual back and forth but contributing little. She feels the gap between her world and Emma's widening, a silent pressure to become someone she isn't sure she can be. Later that night, after the last guest has departed, Adele finds herself cleaning up the remnants of the party while Emma reads in bed. The joyful energy of the evening has dissipated, replaced by a quiet tension. In bed, they lie together, but a distance has settled between them. Adele asks Emma about Lisa's partner, and the conversation is stilted, polite. Emma, sensing Adele's unease, tries to reassure her, but Adele's insecurities have taken root. She begins to question her place in Emma's sophisticated world, a world where she feels like an imposter. The next morning, Adele is teaching at her preschool. Surrounded by the innocent chaos of children, she is in her element. She leads them in songs and helps them with their art projects, her face softening with a genuine warmth that was absent at the party. Here, she is confident, competent, and deeply fulfilled. This is her world, a world of simple joys and unconditional affection, and the contrast with Emma's life has never been more apparent. But the fulfillment of her work is not enough to mend the cracks that have begun to form in her life. After the children leave for the day, the cheerful classroom becomes a silent, lonely space. The weight of her unspoken anxieties comes crashing down, and Adele collapses into a wave of heart-wrenching sobs. The bouquets of flowers from her students, meant as tokens of affection, seem to mock her profound unhappiness. Wiping her tears, she pulls herself together just enough to lock up and leave, the emotional storm still raging within her. A school trip to the beach offers a temporary escape. Surrounded by the joyful shrieks of children playing in the sand, Adele seems to find a brief moment of peace. She immerses herself in their world, helping them build sandcastles and burying one of the girls in the warm sand. For a short while, she is simply their teacher, a role that brings her a sense of purpose and calm. She even shares a lighthearted moment with another chaperone, agreeing to watch her kids for a bit. The sun on her skin and the sound of the waves seem to wash away some of her sorrow. She walks into the cool water, diving beneath the surface before floating on her back, surrendering to the gentle rhythm of the ocean. It's a fleeting moment of tranquility, a brief respite from the turmoil that awaits her back on shore. But the peace is short-lived. That night, her inner conflict manifests in a violent nightmare. She thrashes in her sleep, her body convulsing as if in the throes of a seizure, waking with a gasp. The sweat on her brow is cold, and the darkness of the room offers no comfort. She lights a cigarette, the small flame illuminating a face etched with fear and despair. The disconnect between her life and Emma's has become an open wound. Back in the classroom, Adele tries to regain her footing. With her hair pulled back and glasses on, she appears more composed, every bit the patient and dedicated teacher. She guides her students through a dictation, her voice steady as she corrects their spelling. But beneath the surface, the emotional cracks are widening into a chasm. The simple life she loves feels increasingly at odds with the one she shares with Emma, a life that demands a version of herself she can't sustain. After work, she wanders through the city, her solitude a heavy cloak. She finds herself in a familiar gay bar, the place where she and Emma once shared so many intimate moments. She sits alone at a table, lost in memory, tears welling in her eyes. It is here that Emma finds her. The reunion is thick with unspoken words and heartbreak. Emma, her blue hair now a soft blonde, looks at Adele with a mixture of concern and distance. Adele's composure crumbles. She confesses that she's been unfaithful, a desperate act born from a deep well of loneliness and a feeling of being unseen by Emma. She pleads for forgiveness, her voice raw with desperation, admitting that she misses Emma's touch, her presence, her very essence. Emma listens, her expression hardening. She reveals that she has moved on, that she is with someone else now. The words are a final, devastating blow. Adele's world shatters completely. As Emma walks away, leaving her to drown in her grief, Adele is left with nothing but the crushing weight of her loss, a desolate island in a sea of her own making. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay awesome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing content.